Hi and welcome to the Helen Winder Show. I'm Helen Winder and today I have the fabulous Julie New with me. Julie is a coach, an author and an inspirational speaker. Hi Julie, lovely to have you here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you today?
I'm
Good.
I'm good, yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I like to
Yeah,
hear.
I've just popped the dogs out, so they're not going to bark, hopefully.
Oh, fantastic. Right, well, tell me about you. Tell our listeners about yourself.
Right, oh gosh. I live in Letchworth Garden City. I was originally from Welwyn Garden City, so I'm a Garden City girl. That's in the UK. I've got two daughters, Amy and Polly. Amy is doing primary education at Plymouth University, and Polly is a makeup artist. So I'm very, very proud of them both, very proud. I've got a menagerie of animals. I mentioned a couple of the dogs. We've got two Persian cats called Sweep and Bailey. People laugh at us because I've got a cockapoodle and a cavapoo and a poodle, and they're all very furry. So yeah, so they're all a bit furry, and the fish aren't furry though. We've got about 40 koi carp in our pond, and so they
Wow.
all take a bit of work, to be honest. And my background was that I was a nurse and a midwife
Okay.
for 20 years in the NHS in the UK. So that's kind of me. I love walking.
Fantastic. So tell me about your business. What is it that you're doing today?
Right, well today I am, as you alluded to, I'm a personal coach, inspirational speaker and author. I love writing. That's something that I have a real passion for. So I love writing blogs, and I put my thoughts down about life, and people seem to like that when I write. And I kind of join people on their personal journey. I started off doing that in 2006 when I started my business, Changes Forever. So what I do, as I say, I join them on that personal journey at whatever stage they're at, and so and it's just to make sure really that you've got that all-important balance. So you've got work-life balance. You very much come from the work side of things, and I very much come from the personal aspect. So I've often helped people, when things get really tough, perhaps their relationship's breaking down or has broken down, and they need to have some kind of direction forward, and they might have become ill, or might have had a bereavement, perhaps become redundant. Whatever it is, it's all things that impact on your personal life, and it's just really important that people have somebody there to give them some space and time and the right kind of questions and the support. I think the biggest thing that my clients get is support from me, because I genuinely care about them, and I genuinely care about them thriving, not just surviving life, because it's very, as we all know, there's too much burnout, too much stress in the world, and it's just really important, I think, to take that time out. So that's, as a personal coach, that is what I do. I give people that space.
Fantastic. And it is really important for us to get that space because we're so much in it. We are in our businesses, and that is all we see when we are all striving to reach our personal, our business and personal goals. Tell me a little bit about your book, because I know it refers to flowers and gardens, but the overall message that it sends in there is so powerful. So tell me a little bit about that.
Wow. Oh gosh, what can I say? Basically, my mission with the book, so my goal for the book was to make you think a little bit more deeply about your life. Back in 2008, I was branded with a bright orange sunflower, and it just set me thinking about life and how life actually is very much like a garden. Because if you don't look after your garden, what happens to it? Who are the flowers in your garden? Are there any weeds? Do you need to do a bit of clearing? Do you need to look back on your garden path, or do you need to look forward? How do you move forward in that path? So that was kind of what and I'd always known that I would one day write a book, even though Mrs. Lowe at school kind of laughed at me when I said that. I was about 11. And she thought that was hilarious, that I was going to write a book, because I was really rubbish she thought I was really rubbish. And anyway, I eventually got this book out, and I was so proud. That's one of the most proud moments of my life, actually, was getting this book out there, because people, they absolutely love it. Some people keep it by their bedsides, some people keep it. My sister-in-law, actually, she'll hate me for saying this, but she keeps hers in her knicker drawer, because it reminds her every day.
Yeah.
She does wear a new clean pair every day to take care of herself, and it reminds her of her, you know, that because the overriding message, and on page 91 of my book, is keep watering you. Mm-hmm. And it's so important that we take care of ourselves and we know what we need personally to, like, for example, you know, I walk my dogs, and I go walking, you know, down in the New Forest, and that really waters me. It waters my heart, my soul, you know, and it's just really important. And that's what the book's about. It's really to help you to think about you, because if you're strong in yourself, you can run your business, you can run your life, you can be there for people who need your help.
Yeah.
So that's the crux of what my book's about. Yeah.
I have to admit, I have a copy, and it is with me every day. It comes to work with me, and it goes home with me. So, and it is beautiful. So, where can people purchase a copy?
Right, at the moment they can only purchase it from one place,
Mm-hmm.
and that is my website, which is, it's on special offer there actually. It is julienew.co.uk, and you can buy it there. That's
Fantastic. Well, what I'll make sure that we do as well is we'll put a link to the book on our website, where this interview will be broadcast from, for people to come back to it and listen to. So, in business, this is something I think that everybody experiences, the ups and the downs. What highs and lows, ups and downs, dips and troughs, and, you know, singing from the top of the hills have you experienced, and what has helped you through?
Gosh, right, okay. I'll start with the ups, I think, because that's quite a good place to start, isn't it? I thought about this actually before we came on air, and I'm a true entrepreneur. I am, although I was a midwife and a nurse for many years, I did have a business while I was nursing, and which lasted for a couple of years, and it was a networking business. And I think that was one of my big ups, was achieving goals within that, and just absolutely loving what I did, as well as obviously my midwifery and my nursing. So that was, as I say, being a true entrepreneur as well. I also had a business with my late husband, Rob, and I think one of the biggest ups in our business life together was getting a product into Boots the Chemist, which was quite a challenging product to actually present to them. But I remember going up there and actually driving through. They've got like it's almost like a village, Boots, in Nottingham. And I just remember going up there and just thinking, oh my goodness, you know, we've actually got this product in there, and you know, and we're just going up to finalise the deal, and you know, what have you. So that was a really big moment in business for me, and that product did quite well. So that was publishing my first book. That was pretty major, because it was quite a lot of challenging things that had happened in the lead up to publishing the book.
Yeah.
So that was another big one. I'm winning Enterprising Woman of the Year for Enterprise Challenge back in 2009. That was for my product that we got into Boots. Representing the UK in Poland, as an ambassador for the UK for female entrepreneurship. That was a big one. But most importantly, for me, I think the biggest up is continuing to motivate and inspire my clients to be happy, and to live a really good life. That to me, it just makes my heart sing, and I just think that's, if I can continue to do that throughout my life, I'd be quite happy, because all the money in the world, it doesn't buy true happiness, and it doesn't find true love. That's kind of what I've got the pleasure of being able to do in my job now. So the downs, well, yes. Well, as you know, Helen, and Helen knows me very, very well actually, I have had some major down times in business. Not because of my business actually, but because of my personal life. Yeah, where do I start really? In 2009, my girl's father died very, very suddenly, and my business was about to take off, wasn't it, Helen? It was all about to kind of, really flourish and grow, and the analogy was really beginning to take hold, if you like, and I just knew I had to be there for the two most, we were divorced, Richard and I, but obviously we were parents to two beautiful girls, the two most important flowers in my life, and I had to be there for them, so I had to take time out of my work and my business, and I had to concentrate. They were 13 and 16, just 16 at the time. Amy was doing her GCSEs, and Polly yeah, it was really tough. So that was the first sort of personal kind of tragedy. My partner as well, Rob, and you can read about Rob actually in my book. His story is inspirational, isn't it? It's just,
it is.
He was the most amazing man, and if you want to be inspired by somebody, get my book and read about Rob, because he was incredible, and he was one of my greatest supporters, and believed completely in what I do and what I'm about. So when we met, he was actually paralysed. He was in a wheelchair, and he had sort of ill health, and unfortunately his health just gradually deteriorated to the point where we actually got married on New Year's Eve 2011, and 9 months later he very sadly died. And again, my business was about to grow, wasn't it, Helen?
It was absolutely.
That year, in 2012, I'd launched a membership because I wanted to help people personally on their journey, and that kind of happened, and my book was out. So really for the last 2 years I've been recovering from that, because Rob was incredibly ill, and I was with him every day at the hospital, trying to keep my business running, trying to, and in the end you just, the thing that got me through, I think, was the support of really good friends like Helen, like you, my friend Julie. I've got some really, really close friends who I call my flowers in my garden, and my personal flowers are really important to me. My family, they've kind of supported me as well. But from a business perspective, I have to say, I think you, Helen, you've always been there, and even now that I'm coming back, it's just fantastic to know that you're there, and I can just pick up the phone or text you or and ask you a question or something, and it's just knowing that I've got that support. So I think support is really, really important when difficult things happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm very determined though to carry on, and Rob would want that. He'd want me to do that.
He certainly would, yes. And I made a huge promise, didn't I, that to Rob and to you, that I would always be there to support you and make sure that you kept on track.
Yes. Focus.
And that's the thing. That is the thing in business and in our personal lives, that we need people around us to coach us, to mentor us, to support us, so that we don't feel on our own. We don't have these huge mountains to climb on our own, or dips to come out of. When you have a network of people around you, it makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I've always had a coach. I've had a coach since 2009. 1999, not 2009, 1999. So I've actually had a personal coach and a business coach all that time.
Yeah.
And I would not be talking to you today as I am had I not had that, because yeah, I just think it's you've got to have people there that you trust and that you can share stuff with. So it's really
Absolutely.
important.
Well, I have to say, Julie, you have been through an awful lot, like many people do, and obviously our own personal journeys are personal to us, but we all learn from each other's experiences.
Yes, we do.
Um,
We do. We do.
and,
In fact,
by,
there's a really good.
yeah,
Sorry,
no, carry on.
I was just going to say there's a really good phrase that I read in a book that I was given once called The Soul of Leadership by Deepak
Okay.
Chopra.
Oh, yes.
And it's a phrase, so it's from somebody called Voltaire who wrote this in the 1800s, and it says, if you speak with your head, you reach their heads. If you speak with your heart, you reach their hearts. If you speak with your life, you reach their lives. And I think that's kind of what I do, and I'm going to going forward, I will use that analogy because it's so important that people do think more deeply about their own lives and that they are truly happy. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Completely agree with you there, and that phrase is very powerful if you read it. Maybe it might take some people a couple of repetitions reading it, but it is very powerful. So, what are your top 3 tips to other entrepreneurs that are listening?
Okay, right. Well, the first one has to be focus.
I'm writing this one down, by the way, and underlining it.
Are you? Really? You're going to feed it back to me, are you, later? Thanks. So focus, because where focus goes, energy flows.
Yep.
Another one is fail to plan, plan to fail. And I've actually got that in my coaching room. That's a kind of little board that I've got. And I've had these four words for a very, very long time, and they actually look at me every day, and they are this. Okay, so vision, determination, have commitment, and persistence, and you can't go far wrong. And I guess that's why I'm back and I'm still here, because I do have a vision for the future, and I've got to take that now and move forward with it. So yeah, those are my 3 top tips.
I love those tips. Absolutely love them. I think they're spot on.
Thank you.
Absolutely spot on. And I certainly can relate to the vision, determination, commitment, and persistence.
Yes, indeed.
Well, listen, Julie, I thank you so much for joining me today, and maybe in a couple of months' time we can do another one where we talk about chapters from your book.
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it?
It would be very nice. Yes, that came forward. That was part of my vision that just popped in then. But no, that would be lovely. It'd be lovely to have you back on the show if you're up for it.
That would be lovely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Julie, and thank you everybody for listening. I'll let you know when the next one is on my website.